3D printing continues. This machine has been an absolute game changer for any household, and this week we're going to take I just want to show you guys a couple of quick things that I made in the past week that were why I call them a game changer and why 3D printing in a household is absolutely phenomenal. It really makes a whole world of difference. When something breaks, you can just look at it and say, you know what, I'll just make a new one and head for the 3D printer. Just awesome. So let's get into that. It's a little windy out today, but so apologize if you hear a lot of wind noise. Wow, the wind's even picking up a lot. This is a 3D print that came up a while ago, and what it was, and this is what makes 3D printers so cool and just so unusual, is this little tab locks back here like that to keep the door open on this RV. And what happened was somebody pulled the door by mistake without unlocking it and broke the tab off. So I ran in and says, okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. Next thing I know, I have made a new piece of plastic out of PLA, no less. Yeah, PLA. And I modified it so that it fits nicely, and locks into the door. You can actually probably push it like that and it would still catch, but ideally you should be using your hand on this at all times to make it work. But it's just an example of a situation where once you have a 3D printer at home, the things you can do are absolutely amazing. And that's just one of the crazy things I did this week. Now, the other thing that this week I'll show you. Let's see. Well, let's take a look at a good one. This is an older Dodge, but this cap constantly, if it pops off, I've paid as much as $25 to replace these caps. And it's a dust cap. I kind of like to have it on there. The one at the front here keeps falling off or has popped off and never fit well. And I just, so made one on the 3D printer. And this thing is so tight, it hasn't come off since I've replaced it. That is an awesome print. And it even has the little Ram's head logo in it. It's the wrong color, of course. I just had some black PLA on the printer at the time, so I said, we'll print one just to see how it works. Very pleased with it. It works so well. It works better than the original, so that is pretty amazing. And this is the 3D printer enclosure project, and it's not going very well, but it's still under construction. I printed corners, which the wood slides into. Now let's see if we can show. Oh, wow, that's not going to be that easy. But yeah, if we look up in here, you can see the corners. I actually printed these little squares and sleeves to go into each piece of lumber and pull it together. This will be for the CR10, and it'll give me a full enclosure. Now, the last piece of this puzzle is probably going to be this underlayment that I bought. It absorbs noise for quieter sound. Well, we didn't care about that. Insulation, increased stability or whatever. Yeah. And it's just foam, and what it'll do is I'll be nailing it along the sides and around the back and also the top. Now the front is going to be a piece of plexiglass, which I just so happen to have right there, and also went over to Lowe's and got some magnets. So I'm going to 3D print an inset magnet that will be in these corners so that glass will fit here. It will become an enclosure. Right now, I guess we'll call this a work in progress. We're just not done this week, so I can't show it just yet. I was kind of excited about showing it, and it's like not quite going to happen. The other thing I did make was these rather puzzle-looking pieces, I guess you could say. And what they do is they connect with screws, the wood, to lock it into place kind of thing. So drew these up on Infusion 360 and made these. Like everything that we do in life with a 3D printer, the first model always is a little bit of a bust. So I made these things and modified them and modified them and modified them to get them to work. So we're getting close. I can feel it. Oh yes, And so hopefully all of this is going to come together pretty soon. Once the enclosure is done, I'm going to be running ABS and also ASA plastics. The other part I'm still working on is I want to be able to vent the machine when I want to, and be able to actually vent the fumes outside whenever we're running, like, you know, really toxic kind of plastics such as the ABS and the ASAs. Those are not safe, those things, so I'd like to be able to get those outside. PLA is probably okay, so not a big issue. But yeah, this is the enclosure project that just not happening just yet. We're still working on it and getting the bugs out of it, whatever. Once these bugs come out, man, we will have something to show.
This week at Coffee and Tools, the